Thank you, Dr. Dewberry, for taking out the time to join us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming in. It's a pleasure to sit here with you and talk about these issues that we're going to be discussing.
Yes, they're so important. So what I'd like for the viewers to know before we even get started is what you do and how long you've been doing it.
Well, I've been in ministry for 50 years, and way back in the early part of my ministry, we began to minister to people in personal counselling relating to all kinds of emotional conditions. And so we began to teach mainly in our conferences. I've taught in hospitals, in conferences, about the importance of our emotions in relation to physical sickness. So we do conferences, for instance, or in personal counselling on emotions and health. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the world today, I mean, anxiety and grief, and particularly grief, is one of the major things that we're dealing with in our ministry. So over those years, I've concentrated on looking at it and studying emotions and how they affect the physical body. And people are not aware that some of the most critical physical conditions are related to unresolved hidden grief inside, or deep down inside. And because I think what happens now, we always consider grief to be a loss of a loved one, but we fail to realise that a loss of expectation. Say, for instance, if I have an expectation of something, then if it doesn't come to pass, then that's a death. And death is what creates the negative grief that is so destructive.
Like a divorce?
Like a divorce, for instance.
Okay.
Or it can be like an expectation in a relationship. A good example of what I'm saying would be a woman that has high expectation of being nurtured by her husband.
Oh.
Well, she goes to the marriage with all these high expectations. He's going to love me, he's going to nurture me, he's going to care for me, all these kind of things. Well, when that expectation doesn't take place, then there's a death of that expectation. The result of that death of expectation is grief will come in, but it becomes hidden grief. So we might get angry, we might get depressed, we might have all these negative feelings, and all these kind of things.
So that's what happened with my first marriage.
It could well be.